anything to you?
Yes, he took my clothes off.
There was no doubt in this mother's mind that her 4-year-old son, Andrew, was telling the truth when he disclosed sexual abuse by a babysitter.
He told the officers that he'd been stripped of his clothing and Mum had taken his clothes off as well. And when the video was running, he described oral sex as well and things that he just couldn't have known about.
At the same time, another 4-year-old boy who had no contact with this family also described being sexually abused by the same man. On the strength of the 2 video statements, police arrested him. The man, who changed his name several times, was a convicted child abuser. He'd already served a prison sentence for indecently assaulting 4 young boys.
Can you show me on this puppet where he touched you?
There.
Was anyone else there?
No, but my sister was in bed.
Your sister?
Yeah.
Okay.
Out of a group of, say, 100 children, there is only a very small number who give accounts which are untruthful or in some way deceptive. Less than 10%, probably more like 5%. So you've got a very small number of children.
Their allegations were disputed before the case got anywhere near a court. The man they accused was familiar with video statements. He exploited the guidelines governing the way interviews are conducted to his own advantage.
He's a man who's been through the system on numerous occasions for similar offences. He understands the law.
Video statement and supporting evidence, there's still no guarantee the case will ever reach court.
When they said I didn't have to go to court anymore, it made me feel like I was a liar, like it was my fault or something.
Claire had been raped for 7 years. When she gave her video statement to police, she had to relive that nightmare. She and her mother believed it was worthwhile if it brought the man Claire had accused to justice. In addition to strong medical evidence supporting her video statement, she'd also given police information which seemed to clearly link the abuse with the alleged offender.
On my daughter's statement, the person that had abused her had used a very unusual method of having intercourse. He withdrew. It was a very unusual way for somebody to have sex in this day and age without using a condom.
The police had told the family that when they interviewed the man Claire had accused, he'd said he used the withdrawal method as a means of contraception.
When he holds me down.
As far as the police were concerned, that was good enough to link the two together, because how on earth would a 12-year-old know how he had sex unless he had done it to her?
As well as that vital piece of evidence, Claire's parents could also remember questioning her about bruising on her arms on several occasions. Further evidence came from a friend who told the police that Claire had reported the abuse to her.
He was at home, but not actually in the house?
Yes.
And you can't help us with what day it was?
No, sorry.
What I suggest to you is that none of this happened. He had never touched you. He certainly never had any form, never tried to have sex with you, or actually did have sex with you. Do you understand what I'm suggesting?
What I said was true.
Could you have exaggerated?
No.
Do you know what I mean by exaggerated?
Right there.
Sarah, not her real name, was raped and abused by her mother's partner. Unlike the other cases, Sarah's video statement eventually resulted in a conviction. But once in court, children face a further hurdle. Video statements don't save them from vigorous cross-examination. The defence barrister in Sarah's case taunted her with the suggestion that her allegations were false.
I felt angry, felt upset.
She'd been raped.
No, sorry.
There was strange people around that I'd never met before, and I was very embarrassed to talk. His barrister, I was very shy and wouldn't open up to tell him what he'd done to me.
Despite the distress it causes, some prosecutors argue that children make more effective witnesses if their videos are not used. They say putting children in rather than on the box can help to secure a conviction.
It can be a more effective way from the point.
But by those who act for the child.
It's very distressing that children will be disadvantaged by the notion of, we're scoring them on sort of
To children, even if some, like Sarah, are eventually vindicated by a conviction. 75% of child abuse victims polled by the NSPCC said they wouldn't go to the authorities again. 25% said the experience was as bad, if not worse, than the actual abuse. And video evidence may even be adding to that trauma by helping the defence.
Do you remember being asked some questions by a nice police lady and then having your statement taken from her?
Yes.
Then later, a different police lady made a video of you.
Yes.
You never suggested that he touched you on more than 2 occasions in the video, did you?
I can't remember.
Because you said in your statement, did you not? You were asked about the occasions when he had done anything to you, and you said there were 2 occasions when he touched you, and a 3rd occasion when he tried to have sex with you.
Yes. I can't remember. I can't remember what I said when they took the video of me.
He asked me a question. He went on to a different question. I answered the first question, then he asked me another question. I answered that, and he went back to the first question, and he just kept doing that, and it just got too much, and I just started to cry.
The job of the defence barrister that Sarah faced was to make the case against his client collapse. That's what defence barristers are paid to do. Ironically, video evidence which should have made it easier to prosecute such cases could be working in the opposite way. It seems to be making the life of the defence barrister easier. Under current rules, the prosecution's not allowed to ask the child anything that's already been covered on the videotape.
What it means is the child is cross-examined cold. The video is played, and the child usually sees the video, but then without any questions at all, apart from just a very few from the judge, and certainly no questions about the allegations.
Sexual abuse are as vulnerable as ever. Defence barristers oppose removing children from the court system, and some prosecutors are undermining the reforms by junking video evidence to woo juries. In answer to criticisms raised in this programme, the Home Office said research into video evidence was already underway, but the findings won't be published until the end of the year. Until then, children will continue to suffer.
That's an equally good form